Wheels on the bus going round and round. Yeah, wheels going round and round. Yeah, and we rolling through your town. Yeah, hey, round and round and round and round and round. Yeah, round and round and round and round and round.
Good. What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by the Bank of Dudley. We are your first source and your only source for mediocre, below average sports coverage. Glad you could join us live on this Wednesday morning. My name is Chill. The whole gang's not here, but we got 3 of the 4 horsemen right here ready to roll. So let's see who's in the building. Yeah! Choo, choo. I like to wait for this. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a UGA graduate. He's a diehard dog. He can make a bottle of mouthwash stink. His bottom row looks like he bit a brick. Everyone's an idiot compared to him. He is the pride of Buddy Johnson Road. I'm talking about Adam Hightower.
Turn up this morning.
We getting them up? Getting them up?
Takes me back to UAB.
Yeah. Turn up this music, Law. He, sitting to my left, he had a cup of coffee in the Marines. They call him short story long. He survives daily off of 5-hour energy shots. You know him, 0% research, but he's always 100% passionate. He is a War Eagle for life. Put your hands together for Mitch, the Bear, Lawhorn.
I thought we put it in a request to change this music.
I'll agree with Law. Let's change it next.
I just feel like
Well, when y'all send me something,
I can't get hyped up on beep beep boop 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 boop.
it was just more of a, it was more of a nod to your service in the military.
It just
It
went
don't
Hogan.
even sound
It
like-
just went Hogan's Heroes theme
That's
song.
what it sounds. Doot, 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 doot,
Hey, pull up while we're going to pull up Facebook so you can see if anybody
I
comments.
don't have the app on
That's
my
good.
phone.
That's good. Pull up Facebook, see if anybody comments they make. We are Facebook Live. If you're joining us live on Facebook, it's probably going to cut out per usual in 20 to 25 minutes. That's about how it normally does. However, coming this week,
But I've been hearing
we-
from the streets. The streets have been saying that we need to make a payment on this Wi-Fi.
yeah, we're
That
working
cuts
on
out
that
after-
Venmo. The Wi-Fi's paid up. We just have to pay Jay. But they are coming this week to run some fiber actually into the studio out here. So our service will be all the way 100%, and we'll be able to go live for the whole episode. So if you're joining, we're reconnecting now. So that lasted 2 minutes, but that's
Why
pretty
do
much
we
standard.
keep trying? I don't get it.
24 minutes 2 weeks ago was pretty
Just
good.
send your
So,
comments
anyhow, yeah, just to let us know how you feel about it.
to
But
Mitch Lawhorn Facebook.
well, fellas, we are live on Wednesday morning. We normally go on Tuesday mornings. I was sick yesterday, probably the sickest I've ever been. It was not pleasant, but I appreciate y'all battling. I knew. As soon as I sent that text that night, and Jay didn't respond that night, something told me that he was going to wake up ready for the show, and I wasn't going to be able to. And sure enough, and then now we fast forward to this morning.
Well, I mean, what are we missing, really?
That's true.
So-
Idiot off camera with some bad ideas. But
He could have been on camera today.
he wouldn't have
Got
chosen
a
not
little
to.
sore throat.
Man,
My
I
throat's been killing me.
tell you what, I'm exhausted. We had little kids tournament last night,
I saw that.
end of the year.
Finale.
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 5:30. Started
How'd
at
we look? How'd we do?
We did okay. We had a lot of placers, but I got out of there at a little after 10.
Yes, sir.
Got home at 11:30ish. Got in bed to sleep probably about 12. Here we are 4:15 this morning up at
What a guy.
Man.
Cal
I'm
Ripken, baby.
for the fans for YouTube. I would say Facebook, but you're not here.
Next
so.
week's Facebook fans.
Some would say on the streets, this guy hadn't missed the episode. Knock on wood. Since he made that commitment,
hey,
he
I'm
made that
streaking,
commitment.
baby. I'm streaking.
In body or in voice.
When
he's been
Hype
here.
makes a commitment, he honors that commitment.
And one thing I learned through this too is
I will flip over a new leaf every now and again.
one thing I learned through this is we've got to get you working the soundboard. That's got to happen. That way, if I'm
I
not there,
thought
the
the
show
same
goes
thing,
on.
but I didn't mention that because I didn't want that responsibility.
Yeah, and there's a lot of responsibility with a lot of buttons to push. Make sure you record and things like that. But either way, we got to have you.
Because I could see it happening. We show up. I think I hit the button. We run the whole show. Nothing recorded.
And we
That
woke
could
up for
happen.
nothing.
Yeah.
That could happen. But the bus stops for no one, so
That is fair.
so that's got to be our
Except for
case,
Chuck. The
right?
bus does stop for Chuck.
Currently, and it shouldn't. I don't want it to stop for me.
I like for stopping for you.
I'm okay. I was okay with
It
it.
could be
Sure,
like
y'all
that.
were, but
You're the one short bus person. We gotta stop for him. We gotta get you.
So this
School don't go on.
Jay sending that text and not being unforgiving about the whole thing. You guys understanding because y'all have been there.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Y'all understood. Well, the one time Jay gets up, he's mad 'cause we're not having the show, so he's not forgiving. Which brought me back to, and I'm sure you can.
He screenshot.
Oh yeah, he had to go way back for that too. I sent that message a long time ago.
For those of you that are not in our group text, Chuck sent us it was basically, he was our dad saying, y'all need to be a little more committed. Make sure you're committed to the show. Don't miss. And of course, Mitch is over right now looking like, when did you send that? Because he didn't see it.
I like to read only when I see my name mentioned in the group message.
You need to go
I've
at
even
him.
muted y'all's junk because y'all text all day, every day.
There's a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Like y'all have no lives.
We have a life. We're able to multitask.
No,
And we're committed to the show.
What you're discussing is stupid.
But you don't understand. You
Hey,
missed
don't.
2 weeks in a row, so you don't really get it.
Yeah, you don't understand what it takes.
A lot going on in the Longhorn.
But that
residence.
triggered me with
Along with the wrestling.
Jay being unforgiving, and then me, like I was quick. For some reason, I felt bad for letting down Jay yesterday. Like
Should never- that should
know.
never cross
So
your mind.
I told him I was sorry. Like I meant that because for some reason I feel bad when I let him down, but he has no remorse whatsoever.
Zero conscience on him.
And
Been like
it
that
took me
ever
back,
since.
and I've shared this on the show a long time ago, but I'll never forget. Shelby and I were married down in Lyons. We lived there for a year and a half, and we were moving. I took a job over here. She got a job over here. We're moving to Dublin. Hour drive, up the interstate. And I asked Jay, could we borrow his dad's enclosed trailer? Just makes moving easier with an enclosed. You ain't worry about nothing blowing off on the interstate. Yeah, man, that ain't no problem.
It's probably
Double check 2 to 3 times in advance. Yeah, sure. Just come by and get it. Okay. So that morning I'm in Lyons. I get up. I call him to set up to come get it. The morning of, now oh man, y'all not on the insurance with the company. Y'all just ain't gonna be able to use it. And I'm like, dude, what? Meanwhile, we done got everything packed up ready. So I have to borrow a trailer, an open trailer from somebody.
Probably rained.
Flooded the whole way. Mattresses on top. Had to throw them away. Oh my God. Shelby, my wife, to this day, not forgiving. But Jay, not like, hey, my bad.
I tell you what, he did was sleep like a baby that
Oh
evening.
yeah, and had nothing to do with insurance. Because he had to meet me at the shop to give it to me, and that was it. That was what did it.
We're finally moving into our new house this week, and I was telling him, we came out this past Saturday. He was cooking a brisket, and we were talking. And he said, "Yeah, man, hey, if y'all need that trailer," and I immediately thought of that.
Don't hang your hat on it. If you should have took it Saturday, if you going to.
But he ain't got to meet me nowhere. So
You can hear that in the mic,
Okay.
yeah, we can.
dummy.
Gosh,
But
Anyway.
that takes us, before we back to Saturday, shout out to Ryan Savage and his wife.
Haley.
Hey, there we go. His wife,
Haley Savage, aka Miss Savage.
Ryan shows up. He works out at the base, and he shows up out here with us. What's he wearing, Height?
He's wearing a bus T-shirt.
And he said he had wore it to work, and he came home, and he heard Chill and Height were going to be out at Jay's. He said he was going to wear it. His wife gave him a hard time for being a fanboy. Is that what she called him? Mm-hmm. Hey, loyal when you think Ryan Savage. So shout out to Savage. It's the Savage gang.
I wouldn't have, if it hadn't been for my Haley, I wouldn't have been there this morning. I set my alarm for 4 p.m. again.
Of course you did.
No lie.
speaking
I'm
of-
here.
I don't understand how you do that. You are a grown up.
Speaking of the,
I don't know. I don't know how I did it either. It just magically, when I pulled it up, it just clicked on.
You
4
know
p.m.
you can set. because we're on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. This wasn't our regular Tuesday, but you know you can set them to where they do it weekly.
I was up yesterday at 4.
Okay, he's not.
Speaking of
gonna
Haley,
make
I'm
it
not.
better.
I'm not talking
Could you-
because I got up yesterday at 4 a.m. and then read your message.
speaking of Miss Haley Lawhorn,
We didn't have no food. No food.
she's a great loyal listener of the show. Where'd I see her at the Region Duels?
Yep.
She says, "Hey, what do you want me to make for snacks?" I was like, "Surprise me, anything." I say, "You can make that other thing that you just made, just whatever, just make it." I'm all for whatever you.
We're
make.
not real
That's
picky in
more
here.
of a Christmas snack. That's a Christmas snack.
I can tell you this: that snack's a good snack any day of the week, any month of the year.
It's delicious.
Anyway, I ain't
I've been
seen
dieting.
snacks
I've been
yet.
losing a little weight.
I can't tell.
Will she listen this week?
What? I lost like 15 pounds.
No, I can tell. I'm just kidding.
Will Haley listen this week?
Yeah, she's
Haley, we
she
need a little
listened when
grub.
I wasn't on here. She said, "Have you listened? They've been bashing you on Big Ugly." I was like, right, "Shocker!" I said they bashed me in our group message, in face to face.
That's when you know we're really friends.
That's
That's
right.
right.
It's like not friends, family.
Family.
We're family.
Haley, we need a little grub in here. Follow through on
That
that.
would have been good. I'm kind of hungry.
Speak on, if you will, because you were out here with Jay a lot longer than I was. Speak on the brisket and rate it. Because when I got here, granted, it was later in the day and had lost maybe some of its juice. I don't know.
I couldn't imagine if it had lost any of its juice. It may have spontaneously combusted. Because I'm telling you, if you had were in your garage and changed your oil and spilled your oil, you could just use that brisket to just soak it all up. I mean,
And this is a guy that don't dry out a
Mr.
brisket.
Cooker, yeah. Mr. Cooker, yeah. He gets. I'm standing over his shoulder while he's cutting this thing. He starts cutting. Yeah, this part's always dry. He gets to the middle point. Oh, we're almost there. Hey, that's not a good piece right there. I mean, it's a full middle slice.
And
Yes.
all that's good is the middle.
I mean, it's dry as a bone. There's dust coming out of that thing. He gets to the point, and I can't remember if it's the tip or the point or whatever. There is a band of fat, and it's and so
I like the fat.
and just on the other side of the fat on each other side,
About an inch either way.
it is juicy right there. Everything else just so dry. Now, it had a good bark on it though. But now in his defense, he was trying a new smoker. Dylan McDaniel had given Jay a new smoker, and so he was trying to get used to it. So I'm
need to
gonna
go back to the old one.
I'm gonna say that's what it is. He's trying to fine tune it. But now, did I still crush? Absolutely. Fried pork skins, delicious.
They were. He is good at those. So rate that. Would you say that brisket, that one from Jay's, is that the average for Opie? Was that drier than Opie's average? Because there's nobody, according to our intro, there's nobody.
That right there runs circles around Opie's briskets.
Opie's drier than that?
Yeah, ain't no
I like
doubt.
to try brisket. You ever cook brisket?
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, they're so
Dry
so
too.
expensive.
It was dry.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want. They're so expensive. I don't want to screw it up. I'd like to
Uncle
buy.
G bought
I wish
mine,
you could
so-
buy like a smaller one to test out before you buy the big.
Are they expensive?
brisket.
Are brisket expensive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to find them on sale, or I can't get them, or my dad buys them for me sometimes.
Shout out, G. Okay. Hi, tell us a little bit. I got in the notes here because I remember you saying about it the other day. You sent us a picture. Just what may take us into the break, and we'll come back after that. But tell us a little bit about your truck. Update us on the truck. Tell us about what happened there.
Yeah, so I over Christmas holidays, I was fixing some things on my truck, changed the brake pads, changed the something else. I didn't forget the name of what it was, and I was like, oh man, I'm kind of a little mechanic here. I know.
Oh,
what I'm doing.
handyman.
Yeah. So anyway,
So far, this story does not make it sound like you're a mechanic. The something or another, the thingamabobber.
yeah, it was something.
And then I took this certain little metal thing and did this with it.
That is true. That's fairly accurate. And anyway, so there was still a little squeakage on the front end there. Well, the other day last Thursday, I was going over a speed bump, and thankfully I was going slow. I go over the bump, I hear something pop, and my truck just fell down.
Where were you at?
Old West High. So the ball joint gave out on my truck, and so the arm that connects to the wheel or the tire or the rim, whatever, just fell down. It was then sitting on the inside of the rim. So I couldn't go anywhere, and pure panic sets in because I'm supposed to be hosting a wrestling tournament in an hour and a half, and I'm
Oh, this is for state duels?
no little kids tournament I was hosting last Thursday. And anyway, so immediately, shout out to Krista Anderson State Farm here and Chad White. I shoot Chad a text. He wasn't even at the office. He replies, hey, use these tow guys. Then Alvin Watson towing on walk there. He comes through clutch. And then I call my dad, Uncle G. Hey, man, where you at? I'm in town. I need you.
I need you.
Swoops in. Do we run a couple errands? I'm over there at the thing, ready to roll. No problem. Paul's tire. Got that thing rolling the very next morning.
Nobody better than Paul's tire.
I call him next morning.
Nobody.
Yeah, we got you ready to go. No big.
I got a
And she's out there now just rolling.
shout out
Oh, yeah.
for another tow guy.
No more
He's
squeaking.
my neighbor.
No more squeaking.
Johnson towing.
Johnson
Shout out
towing.
for that. You could
We're
have
giving
called
all
me
kind
out.
of free plugs today.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and listen. This is going to lead me into my that story was if you never lost a ball joint on a vehicle while you were moving, you're not going to understand it. But here, the next thing that happened to me,
I've done it on my Can-Am.
Can it take us into the break?
Yeah, you want me to wait?
No, I want you to get everybody fired up to hear what's on the other side of the break.
Okay, I'll tell you on the other side.
Oh, way to get them fired up.
Can't wait to hear
Wait.
this story.
You won't believe what happened to me
You're not
next.
going to believe what
There
happened.
we go. Hey, stay tuned on the other side of this break to see
Wow.
what happened to Hype.
Unbelievable.
You'll never
Unbelievable.
believe it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
New year, new financial goals? Whether it's saving, investing, or planning for the future, we've got your back. Visit Bank of Dudley today and let's make 2024 your year for financial success. Bank with confidence at Bank of Dudley. Since 1905, member FDIC.
This is Brad Meeks, owner of Brian's Giant Subs. Thanks for listening to the Big Ugly Sports Podcast. Come see us today to grab your favorite sub, 1632 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center, Dublin, Georgia.
J2 Streaming Services. With over 9,000 live channels and packages starting at $15 per month, you literally can't beat it. Visit them on the web at www.j2streaming.com. Proud sponsor of the Big Ugly Sports Show.
For all your HVAC needs, please call Elite Comfort Solutions. We specialize in commercial and residential HVAC. The number is 833-483-HVAC and the website is www.elitecomfortsolutions-inc.com. Call for a free quote today.
Big Peach Car Wash coming this April across from Walmart on Highway 80. I hadn't washed my truck in 5 years. I'm breaking that streak this April.
Welcome back to the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by the Bank of Dudley. We are here live on this Wednesday morning, so Hype, the people have waited all through that commercial break. Let them know what happened.
Waited patiently on the edge of their seats, or maybe on the if
Right
they're
driving.
early could be, yeah, on the edge of the car seat. But anyway, so this is the same night that my truck tears up. 12:30 a.m. I'm sleeping. My wife's car alarm goes off. I think we're getting robbed. I sprint out of a dead
Clothes
sleep.
on?
Drawers.
Okay, that's better
I
than
got drawers
the
on.
last one.
Sprint out there. Okay, nobody to be seen. I'm like, I must have scared them off. Close the door.
I doubt that highly. Like if I'm still
Bro,
in
have
the car
you seen-
and you
have you-
come out
have you
in
seen-
your drawers, I'm like, I can take this dude. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna beat him in this front yard and still
Take the car. And now that his door's open to his house, I'll rob his house. So anyway,
what does Dweeb think he was going to do coming out here with his glasses on?
No, I didn't have
nerd?
glasses. I couldn't have seen. They could have smoked me right in the face, and I'd never seen it. Anyway, so I go back. I hit the alarm, turn it off, go back to bed. 30 minutes later, same thing. Repeat process. Turn it back off, put it back in my wife's purse, go back to bed. 30 minutes later, same thing. I'm like, is somebody pranking me? Like, what's going on? So now I'm like, I'm looking around everywhere.
Looking out the window,
Yeah,
sitting there looking?
I think I'm going to catch him this time. 10 minutes go by, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going back to bed. But this time I take the clicker with me. So I'm laying in the bed to go back to sleep. As soon as it goes off, I like jump up, I like startle up, and flip it off, go back to sleep. This goes on at 3 a.m.
Battery down.
Driving the neighbors crazy.
I'm sure. But me, I'm going back to sleep every time. And then my wife, bless her heart, she can't sleep. She's over there. I realize she's over on Facebook or YouTube trying to figure out what I can do to go fix this. She sends me a video. Hey, you gotta watch this YouTube
Watch this
video.
20-minute video,
Yeah,
right?
and then go fix it. And so there's a wire on the YouTube video. There's a wire that I just got to go disconnect. So, 3:15 a.m. in my drawers. Got my
A little
hood.
chilly out too.
Got my hood propped open in my garage, looking for a wire that is not there. And I finally find a wire. It's not the wire that was on the video. I disconnect that wire, and I hit the panic button. Of course, just going crazy. So I had to scroll through about 5 more YouTube videos and finally found a fuse to take out. So she don't have a horn.
That was probably frustrating, wasn't it?
Man, it was. 3:45. I'm just crawling back in bed after.
Frustrating? Did you say frustrating or
It was
frustrating?
intentional.
Oh,
It was
all
the thing we got. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There's telling the different levels for the people
I
that
don't
don't
like
know.
the inside jokes.
there's
If I'm not in the inside joke, it's not as
Well,
This is
you're
long-
about to be
this
in.
is long gone,
You're about to
guys.
be in. There's a person that we know that doesn't say it properly.
He don't say ours.
Well, he or
Ours.
she.
Yeah, it's
She.
So
Well,
you got
one of them.
frustrated.
No. frustrated,
Frustrated,
and then frustrated.
yeah.
So if you're frustrated, that's like you're okay. But if you're frustrated, that means you're a little more. And then when
Flustered. I would say flustered.
but when you're frustrated, that means you're mad.
You're blowed real mad.
You're blowed at that.
Okay, you ain't got time to say the R or the L.
That's right.
Anyway,
All right, so let's move into a little bit of sports talk here. I want to get both your. We didn't talk about this off air, so I don't know what if y'all thought a whole lot about it. But the Falcons have hired Raheem Morris, who's a former Falcons coach and was the interim head coach. Went 4-7 after Dan Quinn got fired. But what are your initial thoughts? And since then, they've hired OC, DC, and special teams coordinator as well.
I don't understand why you want to hire a guy who has been a head coach previously, and he's had
Losing record.
He's got a losing record.
Right.
He had one winning season, and I don't get it. I mean, there were other guys on the market that that have better careers than him, that have been head coaches,
Right.
and we choose not to get him. Imagine you got a chance to get Bill Belichick, and you decide
And passed on it.
And I get that he's a lot to deal with based on all reports from New England. He's very controlling, and he's his way or the highway. But you know what? His way's done pretty well.
All right, I got a funny story that I heard. I read it, and then I seen another TikTok about it. All right, would be passing on Bill Belichick. All right, so Harbaugh left Michigan. So the story I read was Michigan actually interviewed and talked to Belichick about coming to Michigan. All right. With that said, he comes to Michigan. Well, Tom Brady also played at Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he has one more year. He left to go to NFL early. He has one more year of eligibility. Hold on. And this could happen.
It's not going to happen.
Hold on. It could, though. So
Theoretically.
they hired Belichick. Brady has one more year eligibility because he's been out of the NFL. He is back to amateur status. He is eligible to go to Michigan. And they hired Belichick. First year there, Harbaugh goes to finish his degree at Michigan and goes back to Michigan as their start. I mean, no, Brady goes back.
That would be awesome.
Just started.
But I'm pretty sure
Dude, how awesome would you? You're 30-something years old.
But
he's 40-something.
40-something years old and just killing guys up. That
his
would be
clock's
amazing.
ran out, though, because you only get so many years to play once your clock starts.
I don't
Like
think
you
it's an age limit. I think it's
No, but you
eligibility
get,
years.
it's
Hey,
like
but it's a good story, though.
It is a good story.
It's not.
But
I just thought it was
I know
so
when I was in
nice.
school, once you started playing ball, I think it was you had 5 years to play 4.
Like I know
essentially.
it would never happen, but how funny would that?
Oh, that would've been awesome.
That would be hilarious.
And he'd be really good.
Harbaugh going to be a good NFL. I mean, I don't really like the.
Well, he was
I don't
good
really
before.
want to talk about the Falcons crap because I think it's just bad management. They should have fired from the top down.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was
Started
about to
over.
say before you interrupted. But was that
He has been known to do that.
that I feel like
My
I
story
know
was better than yours.
I know that Belichick is a handful,
Dude's living in fairy tale land over here. Sorry, he loves to live there.
but don't you think it would be good for Belichick to provide some stability, some organization, some type of alignment throughout the organization? Because Rich McKay's not. I mean,
But do you think they passed on Belichick because they didn't fire the management?
yeah.
You know, what I'm
Because
saying?
he was going to want
And
to
that's
control
gonna,
too much.
he's going to control.
I think that's why they didn't get
and
him.
they're going to butt heads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I mean,
what I believe.
So how many years, if let's say, which it looks like Belichick may not land a job, but he's 72, right? So
Yeah, he's
realistically, what if you're a team that gets him? What are you getting for how long are you getting it?
I mean, you're thinking maybe 5 years, 3 to 5 years. But here's the thing: if he's a guy that for a dumpster fire organization, which is Atlanta Falcons, if he can provide some type, if he can provide some type of bridge to change the mindset, the culture of the franchise, and show some people how to do things differently and in a better way, then that would be good. And so if you had to deal with that for 35 years and then you maybe are in a better position to hire a better coach, I feel like that would be good for the franchise.
Yep, I agree. I'm not sure.
Instead, you're getting a guy who's unproven, who, I mean, why I don't understand why. I mean, Mike Vrabel was available. He's got a better record than Raheem Morris, but
The only positive, I guess, which I mean, you're going to have people that say this everywhere about certain people, but a lot of people that have played for him in the past speak highly of him. Players, you see them going on social media praising the Falcons for the hire and this and that. So I don't know. Maybe to be honest, it don't matter if you don't get a quarterback. It don't matter who you bring in.
Yeah.
So
and well, here's the thing too. Hindsight, as Pete says, is 50-50. All right. So if I think back on the UGA hire when they brought Kirby in, I was disappointed. I didn't want Kirby because he'd never been a head coach before, and so I wanted Tom Herman.
You didn't want to keep Mark Richt? Most people
I was
didn't
ready
like Kirby were Rick guys.
I loved Mark Richt.
Right.
And
but you were ready.
I
ready to see
understood why, because
it was still sad.
It was, but it was basically he had achieved all he could achieve, more than likely.
Right.
And so they were ready to move on, and I understand it. But that was a terrible take by me. I thought Tom Herman was the guy. And
what's he doing now?
I couldn't tell you, but you know what Kirby's doing?
Winning.
Breaking necks is what he's doing.
We talked about it a little bit last week. I didn't even know when we were talking about it, like literally the next day, that they were voting the Hall of Fame for the Major League Baseball this year. But we were talking to Andruw Jones last week, and then fast forward to they did the Hall of Fame voting, and once again, he's not in. And I know you've been on.
I don't like
You've been researching this, like firing in comparisons to him and people that aren't in there
for weeks before the Hall of Fame vote. Yeah, and man, it is frustrating. The guys that got in were good, and they deserve it to get in. But Andruw Jones is a no doubt Hall of Famer.
I don't like his numbers.
Oh, I didn't ask you. And so here's what I know.
That's because he's a hometown hero.
Listen.
He's a hero.
You were out, all right. So you don't remember this statistic. There are 4 guys in the history of Major League Baseball. 4. Listen to me, 4. And I want you to look and listen with your eyes. Be an active listener. Look with your eyes.
I'm being an active listener,
okay.
But I'm going to go ahead. And
there are 4 guys. No, don't mute him. Don't mute him. He needs to learn. He needs to learn.
He's being ignorant.
He's like a little puppy. He's like a little puppy. You got attention.
I can stop him, and I don't have to even hear the guys' names. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you in the era they played when they got voted in. That's why they got voted in. In the era we live in the era we play in. That's why.
But 2 of them, only one of them.
What he is,
but only one of them's not from this era.
That's not it.
Willie Mays.
That's
Willie
the
Mays.
one.
Over 400 homers, 10 Gold Gloves.
You're comparing
Mike
Andruw
Schmidt.
Jones to Willie Mays.
Can I compare the stats? If your dumb ears will listen. Okay.
He was voted in the era he played.
Mike Schmidt.
He was a dominant baseball player.
Mike Schmidt. Over 400 homers.
In the era he played in the 80s, when Mike Schmidt played, in the era he played, he was a dominant
King Griffey Jr.
baseball player.
King Griffey Jr. Over 400 homers. 10 Gold Gloves.
In the 90s, in the era he played, he was a dominant
Andruw was 90s.
baseball player.
He was. Rookie year 96. Dum-dum. And Andruw
That's
Jones.
the end of the 90s. That would be the late 90s.
Okay.
But
But 90s
we'll go
nonetheless.
back to the early 90s when King Griffey Jr. played.
Okay.
My bad.
So
I
there
never
are-
watched baseball before. I don't know any of these people.
So you mean to tell me,
Yes.
okay, that because a decade is different, that over 400 homers and 10 Gold Gloves is not relevant? So in the 1950s, if you had 400 homers and 10 Gold Gloves, that's good. But in 2024, if you finish your career and you got 400 bombs and 10 Gold Gloves, that's not as impressive. Why does the decade even matter? Statistics matter.
The decade definitely matters. The players that played with him and the other people that achieved the exact same thing.
You know what? You're actually helping me prove my point. Thank you, Law, because it was probably
he's the only one that did that in this
probably
decade.
easier to hit more homers in the 50s and 60s because pitchers and players weren't as
So
good.
it was easier for Babe Ruth to break the home run record.
Well, he didn't break the record. He set the record.
All right, but he did break it because all records have been broken. All records. Somebody had to start it.
That's fair. As soon as I
all
said that, I knew
records
he
have
had
been
me.
broken. You're so stupid.
That's fair.
That is fair.
All right, records are made to be broken. All right, they will all eventually be broken. All right. Now, with that said, all right, you're saying it's not easier to play ball now than it was back then.
Is it more competitive now than it was then? Yes, absolutely. Now it is much more competitive. So then that would make it more difficult.
No, that's not what I asked. It's not. Is it not easier to play ball now? These guys that do it year round, that's all they do. All right, and they as many games as they play, the records that they make now, it's not easier to make those records than it is during the era of the other people that you were talking about. For instance, in the 80s, the era of the pitcher, all right, the era of the great pitchers. You don't think it was very difficult for Mike Smith to make his name known as a hitter?
I think.
We all think.
The guy you named? Not we all think. I don't think. I don't personally think. Andruw Jones has the stats.
But can you argue though, like, and some of
he can be in the Braves Hall of Fame.
But obviously I am. I think he should be in regardless. But I'm also biased because he's my favorite player of all time, and he's a Brave. But I mean, for a 10-year stretch, he was one of the best. He was the best outfielder in baseball.
I have personally.
Yes,
I have
For 10 years.
Yes.
You just named one, Ken Griffey Jr.
But no, that was kind of before, but overlapping.
Oh, no. He says the same era.
But it is. But I'm saying, okay, one of top two in that. I mean,
so you mean to tell me?
I'm not looking up all the other outfielders. I'm not because I can't think of them off the top of my head.
The guy has.
I'm not saying he's not a great baseball.
In his career, he is in company of 4 first ballot Hall of Famers, and he's not a guy that's good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. And I have done baseball
Is
reference.
Dale Murphy in the Hall of Fame?
shout out Murph.
Is Murph in the Hall of Fame?
Well, the Murph should be in there as well, but that's a different conversation.
If they passed on Murph, there's no way they can put in Andruw.
Sure they can.
No.
Who's a better defender?
He was Andruw, and for the Braves organization. This is what I would say as a college. If I was a college recruit and I'm going to watch a football team, a baseball team, when I come watch, I'm going to come watch a practice or I'm going to come watch a game. I don't want you to tell me their number. I don't want their name on the back of their jersey. I want to watch the game, and I should be able to pick that person out that's the best player on the field.
You would have.
All right, I
You
go
would have
into
picked
an
Andruw
organization.
Jones. You would have picked Andruw Jones as
I
the
go into an
best outfielder in the league for 10 years. For 10 whole years.
And I'm listing guys, all right? I'm listing guys in that organization. If Dale Murphy's not in, Andruw Jones better not get in. Dale Murphy, in his era, is the best outfielder, all right, that played baseball.
We'll end this one because we need
Is
to
he
move
not?
on. But I'd love to come back to this with Opie and Jay here to hear everybody's takes on it. But a good debate there. Real quick before we go to a commercial break and get to our next segments, I've looked at
You're an idiot.
the 2025 first year eligibles. I want to know real quick if you think any of these people will be first ballot Hall of Famers. This is the list for next year: Curtis Granderson,
No.
Felix Hernandez,
I like Felix.
No.
Adam Jones, Pac-Man,
No.
Ian Kinsler,
No.
Russell Martin,
No.
Brian McCann,
No.
Dustin Pedroia,
No.
Hanley Ramirez,
No.
CC Sabathia,
I like Sabathia.
Maybe.
I like Sabathia.
Ichiro,
Yes.
Yes.
Troy Tulowitzki,
No.
and Ben Zobrist.
No.
Okay, that's the list. So,
Matter of fact, out of everybody on that list, there may only be 2 that get in.
get in ever. Yeah.
Itcher is the only one that I really like.
So here's my question, just to you real quick: If Andruw Jones is on that first ballot right there, if that's his group that he's playing with,
If that's his group, he's getting
okay. So, all right, let's take a commercial break. Stay with us. We've got some segments coming up. We will be right back.
Bank of Dudley is proud to sponsor the Big Ugly Sports Show. Wherever you're listening to your favorite sports show, you can also be banking with your favorite bank. Bank of Dudley offers mobile and online banking platforms to make managing your money easy. Get on that Bank of Dudley bus. Beep. Bank of Dudley since 1905. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by the Bank of Dudley. Hey, been banking since 1905. Long time to keep a bank around, but hey, when you're the best, you're the best. So we're going to introduce a new segment today. It was Height's idea, and he's got some good stuff with it. So we're going to try to. You can explain a little bit more what it is and how often we're going to do it.
I would love to say that this is my idea. Okay, but I'm gonna give a shout out to loyal listener Reed Waldrop. Okay, he's also the one who gave me the question about if you could ask sports person 3 questions. All right, so he stopped me in the hall the other day and said, "Hey, think about this. Nobody's really doing it, and highlight some high school kids." So we've kind of taken and run with it, and we've got some in our mind, in our simple mind, some big plans for this little segment. But so we're doing hometown highlights, and it's going to be a weekly feature of high school athletes. So what we're just going to do, you remember prep honor roll from football and stuff, and I don't know if they did it. I can't remember if they did it for other sports, but anyway, we just want to try to highlight some local athletes and give some shout outs to kids that are working hard and being successful.
And this is something before he even dives in that Height and I have talked off air that we kind of want to grow and kind of make a big deal around here. And TV 35 not TV 35. Bank of Dudley has graciously decided to kind of partner with us and maybe honor some kids with a certificate / shirt. So those are things that Height and I and the rest of us are going to iron out. But I love where it's at, and we love to honor folks around here.
All right, so first one I got is from East Lawrence. We got a wrestling kid. His name is Kason Wadley. He wrestles 113 pounds. He's got a 24-1 record for East Lawrence Falcon Wrestling.
Great wrestler.
You know him?
Yeah. We just wrestled him in the county championship.
Yeah.
Great.
And Coach Satterwhite's fired up about him. He was the guy that he put up as wanting to highlight. Let's see. They have they made it to the state duels this year, and they had a young team. They lost 11 starters off of their team last year, and he's proud and excited for that team and what they're doing. He thinks that this guy Kason Wadley will be a state placer. He's got some wins already this year over some state placers. So
tough classification for lower weight classes.
Yes,
to be a state placer.
All right, so the next one we got is from East Lawrence basketball.
Good team this year.
Chris Burley. Yeah, he told me that one of their girl players, Michaela Tanner, she has scored over 1,000 points for her career, and she reached that, I guess, milestone this week. Now, these
I think it was last week. Yeah.
Hopefully that this was short notice. This kind of came to me on Monday afternoon or Monday morning, and so we're trying to work this out with. So not all the coaches.
It'll be clear going forward.
Yeah, not all the coaches got back with me, but
I'm on the show. I mean, I can't talk about
this
my
is
own person.
this is hometown highlights. This is my
and we
segment.
almost made it high.
It can be your segment if you want, or we can sit there and you can talk about this for 30 minutes, and I can go try to school bus. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
just teasing. You ain't got to use the Lord's name.
I'm on the show. Why would I want you to read about my kids when I can talk about my own personal kids?
We'll get him in a minute.
That's a very
Does
fair
that make
point.
sense?
That's a fair point. And I was just joking. Anyway, so then we got Dublin. And so
I bet I can guess it. Who the kid is.
I know this is a sensitive subject for you since they just stomped on that head. They just stomped.
Great program, great leadership, and they are rebuilding a program that was on the back burner for quite a while. But they have built.
We're going to between the buses in a minute. Hold on, I know you're ready to get between them. I know you're ready to get between them.
So, the Dublin Irish wrestling team, the first time they'd won a team tournament in over a decade. They won one this year. First time they won a county championship.
Team tournament,
like their team.
Oh, the region tournament. You're talking about
just any tournament at all. Their team finished number one. The first county championship in 20 years, and they had 4 kids that have gotten to 100 wins in their career, and those kids are Andrevius Brim.
Awesome kid.
Yeah, good kid. I used to coach him on the east side. Ty Carswell, Terrell Williams, and Lucas Coley. All 4 of those guys have gotten 100 wins on the season for their career. So that's not 100 wins in this season, but during this season,
big
they got 100 wins. Yeah. And that's what I got so far.
Okay, so congratulations to those programs up on the rise, and you got.
And on the west side, I would like to acknowledge a kid, JT Bowers. He's the only state champ I got returning this year. The only state placer I also have returning this year. He is a couple of more matches away from breaking one of our school records. It's Bryce Carr's record, the most wins in a season. And
Chase just missed out on that, didn't he?
Just
it was like 1 or 2 matches.
And the problem is at heavyweight, he has a lot of buys.
Yeah,
because a lot of teams don't have heavyweights that we wrestle, and so those weight classes aren't usually filled up. So it was hard for him to get there.
Yeah,
but now most wins in a career. I believe Chase ended up breaking Bryce's record.
He did.
But with that said, he by the state championship. If things go, knock on wood, the way they're supposed to, he will have broke Bryce's record, and he's only a few more wins from 200 wins.
So how many is he? One? Has he got 1 state championship or 2?
One
going for number 2. So.
Yeah, good youngin, loves the show.
Great kid.
Been on the show.
Works
Yeah.
hard.
Mhm.
Been on the
Gets
show.
up bright and early. If we were live, I imagine he'd be listening.
Next week.
He goes and works out with Bryce every morning. I mean, does what it takes. Does extra work to put in.
And I did want to give a shout out to James Lanier because I really feel like he's kind of the architect of the rebuilding the Dublin.
Catalyst.
Yeah, he's kind of made sure that
James, Ben, Bryce. I mean, Coley's over there now.
yeah, and they got a good wrestling
great
room.
program. Got a lot of support.
They got three dudes in the wrestling room working, so that's good.
Yeah.
Before we transition into Between the Buses, I've got you mentioned the girl from East, the Tanner girl that broke 1,000. So a sad day in chill history. My points record at Toombs was broken on Tuesday night, so I'm excited. I get to go down Friday and present the coach called me and wants me to go present.
What we just learned here. This
Records
morning.
are made to be what?
All records are made to be broken.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
We didn't learn it. It's fact. I mean, you should have already known.
But-
you're the idiot in this situation.
But while we're on the subject of wrestling and Raider wrestling, that's going to parlay us into our Between the Buses segment. So, Law,
It's really more of a Facebook message. Is randomly just because you think it, you shouldn't post it on Facebook if you don't really know what you're talking about. And just because somebody posts something on Facebook does not make it accurate. So
Tell Big
with,
Kev.
trying to
with
get
that, with that said, all right, records are meant to be broken. I mean, you can't win forever. Eventually, somebody's going to come along and beat you. That in the history of the world, nobody has won forever. There's nobody undefeated forever. Somebody in any sport. Again, records are meant to be broken.
That's right.
And with that said, just because you lost once does not mean you just have fallen off the map.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you are the winningest sports program, all right, in all of Lawrence County,
Middle Georgia, really.
I don't know the other schools' records, but I do know. All right, I'm a part of a long tradition of winning.
Yes.
Because
A
I
consistent-
know all
consistent.
of West Lawrence's records because I keep up with them and I keep them. With that said, I don't know of another sports program, not just wrestling program, that has as many state titles, as many state placers. We've had a state champ for probably the last 17, 18 years. Name another program that has had at least one state champ the last 17, 18 years. All right, now, with that said,
and there's only, 14 weight
I
classes?
love that Dublin beat us in the county championship. I hate that they beat me as a coach. I don't hate losing, but at the same time, I like when East Lawrence is good. I love when Dublin is good. All right, so I will root them programs on. If they need anything from me, Ben and them know they can call me, and I will help them out if they need anything. All right, for years I have led East Lawrence into our tournaments for free. For years, I have done whatever I needed to do to get Dublin and East Lawrence to come and do things. All right, even when I first started, we used to invite Dublin and East Lawrence to our summer programs, to what we did for summer and little kids.
So there was something on Facebook apparently that
It just fires me up that
There's idiots everywhere.
because we lost, we're dying program. We're dying a slow death, and that just don't make sense to me. How are we dying a slow death because we lost 1 year and we barely lost?
But here's the thing.
And I'm starting 8 freshmen. All right, 8 freshmen. I lost 7 seniors 2 years ago when we won a state title. Well, what happens? All 7 of those seniors. I just want to explain. All right, not explain why we lost. We lost to a better team. Dublin has worked hard.
You're
They wanted
explaining
it.
what happens in a program.
In a program in Middle Georgia, because wrestling is not a big time sport. It's just football and basketball. Everybody knows it. All right. With that said, you got 7 seniors that have started since they are freshmen. Well, anybody that comes out for that team knows they can't beat those 7 guys, so they don't want to come out. So for 4 straight years, these 7 guys have started for me. So they don't have backups. So it's going to take me a little while to rebuild.
Well, there's going to be gaps.
That gap.
There's gonna be gaps.
And well, my old coach Cornto, who's the superintendent of Lawrence County Schools now. But my old coach, Cornto, told me that coming in as a head coach is like, hey, you got to understand now. And
there's ups and downs.
There's ups and downs because every year he's my mentor. When I have trouble, I call him. Normally it leads in, man, I just can't handle this. It's a headache. I just can't do it. And he talks me off the ledge. Well, not today. This year was one of those years. It's like, man, God, we are just so down. But he said, how many freshmen are you starting? He said, you can't plan your program. He said, we're trying to build a program.
Yeah.
He said, not win for a season.
Yeah. Well, and, here's the thing. People that are not coaches, and I know that it ain't like we're, big-time coaches. We don't make a pile of money, but we go through the grind, and we deal with things, and we have similar experiences to anybody that's leading any program. And we got kids that maybe or maybe not really, they don't maybe want to really even be out there because wrestling is the most difficult sport to be a member of a team.
That's right.
You can't hide anywhere. There's no downtime. You're on the mat wrestling, and everybody wrestles at the same time practicing. But running a team where you have to get kids out, deal with eligibility, deal with fundraising, deal with traveling, deal with weight cutting, deal with all these things, people that are just watching it, or just because your kid wrestled, or just because you coach an all-star team of wrestlers, it's not the same. And so when these people start, poor mouthing or saying this, that, and whatever, like it doesn't matter to me because it is a lot of ignorance that's just being spewed out there.
But here's why I don't like it. In our small town community, all right. So our kids see it. Our kids look at Facebook. They're on this stuff more than anything. So if I'm reading, all right, from an influential person that's on Facebook, and I can see this on Facebook, or I can see this on social media, and they're claiming that our program's dying, it's dead, all right, then I'm trying to encourage my parents to send me to another school.
Yeah.
Not I want to, that program's dead, that coach don't know what he's doing, this, that, and other. And that's not the fact. I mean, let's look at the win-loss column since I've been a head coach, all right? And let's look at the win-loss column. And now, as soon as consistently I'm losing to Dublin, East Lawrence, Toombs, all these others. Toombs is having a great year. Great
state runner-ups.
State runner-ups. Great chance of winning state in traditional, because I believe they have a better traditional team than a duals team. And Double A's down. So, they have a great chance of winning state this year. Well, dude, but consistently, Toombs has not beat us in wrestling.
Yeah.
And consistently, Dublin, to me, I like it when these teams are good because you know what I don't have to do as a head coach?
Travel so much.
I ain't got to put my kids on a bus and go to Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't have to put my kids on a bus and go to Chattanooga. I can go 5 minutes down the road, wrestle a great tournament like we did last week at the Sweet Onion, and my kids can get competition there. JT had two of his best matches this year, two of his toughest matches this year in Toombs County. And we didn't have to go to Orlando to do it.
Yep. Well, in West Lawrence wrestling has been the cream of the crop around here.
Everybody knows
Target
on your back. And so when people get a win, like I said, it is good for them. It's good for their kids. It's good for the program. But when outside people start making it about them and different things, that's what it takes away from the kids' accomplishment. It negates anything that kids at 100%. Different schools has done. And so you just got to put those people,
tune out,
put that in a proper place.
That's right. And I do. I just want to make what it's like. I just wanted him I wanted someone to acknowledge what programs he's talking about.
Off air, so I don't have Facebook on my phone, so I'm gonna have to go off air. We'll talk about it, and I'm gonna go. I may chime in.
But one thing to know from all this, the Raider program ain't dying.
It's not die. And we're here to stay. We've had down years, and we will.
We got 47 kids in our little kids program. We had 30-something kids in our middle school team that dog walked through that middle school region. So we're gonna be
the Dublin program is getting better. And the East Lawrence program, like I said, that little 113, they have another kid, and I think he's 126, 132. Great wrestler, too.
What's his
Hispanic
name?
Kid. I can't
White. Last name's White.
No.
The
White kid's not bad either.
Okay.
I know you're talking about.
I think his name.
Now, this guy's got like a Hispanic last name.
Okay.
Gonzalez or something like that. I can't remember. What?
Just throwing out Hispanic last names over here.
Well, that's.
All right, we're out of time. All right, bring us home.
Great wrestler.
Hey, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, thebiguglysportshow.com, YouTube. Give us a subscription, give us a follow, give us a comment, tell your friends and family, and hit us up any chance you get.
Law, you got anything? Raiders on top.
Congratulations to Dublin, Ben Lanier, and them guys for that county championship. I'm proud of them, even though they beat me. I'm still proud that program.
Hey, that's a good sport. Good sport, Rob.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to visit thebiguglysportshow.com. We appreciate your support. Love our loyal fans. Wherever you're at today, whatever you're doing, get up on that bus.
Yeah, they swishing, 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 swishing. Yeah, swishing, 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 swishing.